This is the fourth episode in a series of fishing tutorials where I go through knots and rigs that allow you to become better fishermen. This week we're going through the Texas rig, and if you want to know how to use this and when to use it, be sure to stay to the end of the episode. Now first, to get started, what you're going to want to do is feed the weight onto your fishing line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now that I have the weight on the line, I'm going to tie the hook onto the line. Now you can use a Palomar knot, or commonly used is also the improved clinch knot. I typically go for the Palomar knot, and I actually have tutorials on both of these knots, which you can go check out on my tutorials playlist or find it on my channel page. But I'm going to do the Palomar knot. Since I have a tutorial for it already, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this hook on there. And there we go. We have the hook attached to the fishing line and the bullet weight above it, just like this here. Now I'm going to go ahead and get one of these Zoom Super Flukes out. And I just want to go over this real quick, but I'm going to refer to this part of the hook right here as the point of the hook. And then for the bait, I'm going to call this the tip of the bait here. Now, what you're going to do to start is you're going to hold the hook like this, hold the bait upside down like this. So normally, the bait's going to swim along like this. We're going to have it upside down. And we're just going to put the point of the hook through the tip of the fish. And I put it basically to the depth of the barb on the hook. So about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to push the point of the hook through the tip of the soft plastic like that. Now you want to get it as centered as possible, as that will help the action in the water. But you're going to slide the tip of the bait all the way to the knot, essentially, where it connects to the hook. You don't want to go over the eye of the hook, it just adds extra wear to the lure. Now at this point, you want the point of the hook and the barb to sit just above the lure once you poke it through. So we want it to sit right about there, which means this curve needs to sit right here on the soft plastic where my right hand is pressing down with my thumb. So I'm going to bend this a little bit to make sure that the hook gets where I need it to go through, this point on the thumb, but for this it's got the flap in the middle, so we're going to push it through, slide it back, just like that. So this is the Texas rig, and this is really great all around to just use pretty much anytime you go bass fishing. When they're super active, you can do a fast retrieval. When they need a little bit more enticing, you can do a slower retrieval, or you can let it kind of sit on the bottom and flick it up a little bit to get this moving. If they're kind of shy to biting. During spawning season, it's really great for you to, cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, and then flick it up and reel in the slack a little bit and let it sink back down. And a lot of times bass will hit, on the way down or right when it hits the bottom. So these are some great techniques to use the Texas rig. What's great about this rig is that it can generally be pretty much weedless, and if it's still getting stuck on stuff, you can actually take the point of the hook and just barely bed it into the top of the soft plastic like that, so the point's not sticking out anymore. So when it's going through weeds, the weeds will kind of just brush right over it like that, and it won't really get in the way of any bass that are going after it, because basically the bass, swallows the bait, presses down here, exposes the hook, and then when you pull back on it, the point of the hook will get stuck into the bass's mouth. Like I said, overall, this is a great rig to use pretty much anytime. This is kind of my go-to rig when I go bass fishing, but I am going to try and get into some other rigs, and I'll have tutorials for those as well. But with that being said, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope that this encourages you to get out on the water yourself and catch some bass. Have a great week and fish on.